Hey, my name's James Nicholson. In this video, I want to talk about, is buy-to-let dead? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Does it work, and will it work in 2024? Now, the reason we've got these questions is we've got house prices that are dropping, we've got interest rates that are going up, we've got more legislation and more tasks that landlords must complete in order to become legal to be able to be a landlord. And it's not very tax efficient if you do it in a certain way. So let's cover that topic and more in this video. And while you're here, if you haven't done already, this property channel has new content every single day. So while you're here, make sure you smash subscribe and hit the bell notification. And next is the most important thing. Smash the like button, tickle the like button, do something to that like button, because that really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So do that now. And let's talk buy-to-let. So buy-to-let investing, it's been really good run for a lot of landlords. We've had some absolutely crazy low interest rates over the last few years. We've had house prices going up at record rates. Even when the pandemic started, we were expecting house prices to drop. They didn't. Even this year with the higher interest rates, we were expecting house prices to drop. They did, but marginally. It wasn't the impact that we were thinking may happen. So why would you consider buy-to-let? Well, a standard vanilla buy-to-let, and what I mean by that is where you go to an agent, you find a deal on Rightmove. I'm talking a house that's already had work done to it. That is really tough. It's very tough, if not impossible, to do that kind of investment at the moment with the higher rates and everything that's going on in the southeast of England. So buy-to-let in the southeast is tough. I don't think it can work. I think you really need to look at other opportunities. I want to talk about those opportunities in this video. So where does buy-to-let work? Well, the north, it still does work. In the north of England, you still get a good return on your money because house prices comparative to rent are still pretty good up north. You could still buy a house for 60 grand and get nearly £700 a month in rent. Let's look at the UK, at the south of England, Dorking, where I'm based. You would have to spend £250,000, if not more, just to get £1,000 in rent. That's why it doesn't work down south. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a comment if it does. So the north of England, buy-to-let is still viable at this moment in time, even with the higher interest rates. So that's one thing that we could do. But maybe you do want to invest down south because it's nice to invest as close to where you live, because then you can go and see the property. And sometimes if you want to sort the maintenance yourself, you can. For me, I like other people to do it, but you've got that option. So what are our other options? Well, one is a strategy called BRRR. BRRR. And that stands for buy, refurbish, refinance, and rent the property. So what you're looking for is a property where you can add value to that property. Now, the reason you want to do that is because let's just say the market does shift. It goes down 15% in 2024. Then you could be in negative equity or close to negative equity. You would have put in a 25% deposit, but you could get close to negative equity. That's not good. So if you use the BRRR strategy, what you're going to do is you're going to look for properties that need a refurbishment. And they've been hard to come by the last few years, but now they're becoming easier to find and spot those type of deals. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about buying a house that's a 2-bedroom house and adding that 3rd bedroom, maybe a loft conversion, or maybe splitting a big bedroom into 2 smaller bedrooms, or maybe converting a house into 2 flats. The government are making the planning application for that very easy now. In fact, you'll get approved straight away. That's what Michael Gove was talking about recently. Or maybe you add an extension. By doing that, you're adding value. So some recent projects I've done, I've turned a studio flat into a 1-bed flat. I've turned a 1-bed flat into a 2-bed flat. I've converted or taken a ugly 2-bedroom house and made it beautiful. These things add value, they give you protection, And that's one way that you can get investments working in the south. Next, social housing. Now you can do this in combination. Social housing. So there's different types of social housing, but you can speak to your local council and they'll let you know the providers in your area. And social housing is where, rather than renting it out on an AST, assured short hold tenancy, you rent it out to a housing association. Now, often they'll take your project longer term, so they might take it for 5 years. And if you work with people that work with more vulnerable people, they will pay you an uplift in rent. So a house that I own in Hastings, I was getting £800 a month. I'm now getting £1,400 per month uplift in rent. So that's a big difference. They'll take on the maintenance, they'll furnish it, they'll look after it, they'll take it on for 5 years. So social housing is a great way to get that kind of investment. You're also helping people. Some of these houses will be used for women that are vulnerable, escaping from their partners. Maybe if you want to, you can use these for asylum seekers. You can use them for homeless people. There's different housing associations. So you pick one that works with the kind of cause and things that you're interested in. So let's just say you took an ugly house, you refurbed it, so you got the uplift in value, and then you took on a higher rent, right? So that would work that way. That's another way that you can make good money in 24. Next is HMOs. And so HMOs is where you take a property and you rent it out on a room by room basis. Now you need to check with the council on this. Different councils have different rules. Some places you need planning permission for this, some you don't. But you will have to make sure that you've got fire doors in there, better fire escapes, you've got insulation so there's less sound in there, and there's things that you can do just by speaking to your council. They'll tell you what you need to do. But let's just say you'd get £1,000 rent for a 3-bedroom house. Maybe that's got 2 reception rooms that you can turn into bedrooms. You could rent those out for £500 each and get £2,500. That massively increases your cash flow, and that's a great way. Now, you could also rent an HMO to the social housing. So all of these could go in together at the moment. You could have a project that you refinance. This would be the mega project. You find an ugly house, you refurb it, you uplift the value, then you find a social housing provider and you tell them, I've got an HMO, and they give you a better rent and they take it for a longer period of time. This combo would work very, very well. So that's a high cash flow strategy, and that's what we've got to look for in the market with higher interest rates, and also is what the market needs. There is not enough of this type of accommodation, and we need more of it in the UK. And lastly is serviced accommodation. That's where you take a property and you rent it out on an Airbnb portal, on booking.com, various different portals like that, and you charge it out on a nightly basis. Now, you've got to have a lease that allows you to do that. If it's a flat or a house, you'll be okay. But you need to make sure that you're able to do that, that you've got permission to do that. But that can be very, very profitable. So rather than getting £1,000 a month in rent, let's just say that you got £100 a night, which you could easily achieve more than that. Let's just say you did get 100 and you got 30 days booked out. That's £3,000. Let's just say you just got 20 days booked out. That's £2,000. It's way, way more profitable serviced accommodation, and that could be another strategy. So in summary, does buy-to-let still work? Yes. If you just want a simple buy-to-let, I'd recommend that you look in the north of England. If you want to look anywhere else, you can look at these other strategies: buy, refurbish, refinance, social housing, HMO, serviced accommodation. Any ones that I've missed, do comment below. I always miss something. That's the nature of doing videos. But any that I've missed, do let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this or questions on this below. Smash the like button while you're here. Subscribe, hit the bell, and go and check out some more content. Why don't you go and watch this video right here?